Hello, this is AnlineOffline. Welcome back to another casual's quick guide to Call of Duty Mobile. For today's video, we'll be covering the SKS. Introduced in Season 1 of 2021, the SKS is a semi-automatic marksman rifle from Modern Warfare 2019. It's based on the Soviet rifle of the same name that was developed towards the end of World War II, but was mostly used by their allies during the Cold War. Before the SKS, Sergei Simonov was a Soviet designer that was mentored by Vladimir Fedorov, along with Shpakin and Dektorov. Simonov's AVS would square off against Tokarev's SVT. Neither semi-auto performed well against the Finnish during the Winter War. But due to cost and favoritism from Stalin, the AVS would be scrapped, and Tokarev would go on to improve his design. However, the early stages of Operation Barbarossa crippled Soviet stockpiles of semi-autos, and they were forced to revert back to mass-producing bolt-action Mosin Nagats and Pistolet Pulemyets. In the meantime, both Dektorov and Simonov were tasked with developing new anti-tank rifles. Dektorov developed a bolt-action, and Simonov developed a semi-auto. As the Germans were repelled and put on the back foot, Simonov decided to scale down his PTRS for the intermediate 7.62x39. This is because the previous full-powered 7.62x54 rimmed was ill-suited for semi-auto rifles. Early prototypes saw limited use towards the end of the war in the Belarusian campaign. But much like Dektorov's RPD after World War II, the SKS would be outclassed by Kalashnikov's works, and would be exported to or produced by Soviet allies, particularly the Chinese. Modern Warfare's SKS is based on a modernized Yugoslavian Zastava variant, with a detachable box magazine. Black Ops Cold War featured the Chinese Type 63 by Norinco, which used an AK rotating bolt, but was still short stroke. Moving on to mobile stats. Being a true semi-auto, the fire rate of the SKS is capped at 364 rounds per minute, and is dependent on your trigger finger. To balance this, base damage per shot is high, but it can vary with its body multipliers. Headshots deal double damage and is a guaranteed one shot across the map. The stomach and forearms deal 10% less damage. Biceps and legs deal 20% less. As long as you are aiming for center mass, it should be a 2-shot kill. Otherwise, attacking the legs or from the side may lead to a 3-shot kill. In terms of movement speeds, the SKS is standard for the marksman class, but its ADS time is the fastest among them. Compared to snipers, it's on par with the XPR and EBR, except for in sprint out times. But the SKS is unique, in that it can be kitted with 5 mobility attachments and can become the fastest, if desired. Base magazine size is 20 rounds and can be extended to 30 or reduced to 10. Reload cancelling is solid. With an empty mag, cancelling can cut your reload in half. As for accuracy, the base breath hold time is 5 seconds, which is standard for snipers and marksmen. If you pursue a max mobility build, then it's cut in half. And, like most, it has less idle sway than DLQ. Its iron sights are simple to use, but can be hard to use precisely with your ADS FOV sync, but its recoil and idle sway is less noticeable. Speaking of recoil, the SKS has some, it's mostly visual, but it depends on your trigger finger. I'd recommend taking your time in between your shots, or double tapping to burst it. Hipfire is standard for a marksman/sniper, and it does have the fastest fire rate, but it would still be risky. Flinch is the best in its class, and is on par with most snipers, but it's still high. When the SKS was released 2 years ago, it was not a good weapon. Back then, it wasn't able to 2-shot to the arms, which cover the chest, only leaving the stomach, which is a small window, or attacking from behind. This also means it used to be very difficult to challenge anyone on a head glitch. On top of that, around this time, blank scoping had become rampant in the community. When snipers were nerfed, the following straight buffed SMGs didn't do it any favors. Sure, it was better than the AS-VAL with FMJ rounds, or the XPR or EBR, but that's not saying much back then. And then it was thoroughly outclassed by the AMAX with M67, which could 2-shot to the arms. Subsequently, The VAL, SKS, and AMAX were all rebalanced to have similar hitboxes. For the past year or so, the SKS has been considered a top-tier weapon, but it's not popular due to how uncomfortable semi-autos are on a mobile platform. I'm not sure if it's quite fair to compare it to the XPR stopping power or SVD, given that they both come with scopes, and it's a matter of whether you want a fast 2-shot kill or a 1-shot potential. When compared to the DMR conversions of the AMAX or AS-VAL, the SKS is usually better as it has more ammo and a faster fire rate. On top of that, its Disable perk can reduce movement when striking anywhere in the body. It used to apply to ARs, but not anymore. So, does it need any changes? Not really. It would be nice if it had access to red dots or hollow sights. If anything, the AMAX with M67 should be unnerved, which will get its own video. But hey, that's just my opinion. This has been a Casual's Quick Guide. Feel free to suggest what weapons you want to see covered next. My name's On, and I'm off.